So I am joined here with ex-professional footballer and now coach Karl Henry. For context, I've just refereed Karl's team today. What did you make of your team's performance today, Karl?
I thought we were dogged and resolute today. We were 3 or 4 players light. Only one sub on a big pitch, and that last game of the season feel as well. So I thought we dug in well. We defended really well, and we a good away performance, good draw.
Yeah. And what made you want to come into junior football? Now we see a lot of ex-professionals go into first team. What made you want to create your own brand and come into junior football?
I think ultimately, like a lot of dads, I wanted to coach my son, my children. I've got 2 boys, and I wanted to be involved in their football and enjoy a period of time with them before I do put my hand to the professional game.
And just touching on your playing career, what was your favourite moment at Wolves, would you say?
There are a couple of moments that really stood out. The promotion, obviously winning the league, we're celebrating this year in a couple of months, was brilliant. Winning the championship, getting promoted to the Premier League was fantastic. Walking out at Molineux as captain of my hometown club. Obviously, we were a town back then, not a city. It was immense. But there was one game in particular that stood out for me. We played Charlton away, and it was a game we were both 7th and 8th in the championship, trying to fight to get into the playoff positions. And it was a really good away performance. We were 2-1 up. They equalised in the 93rd minute of I think the 3rd minute of 4 minutes of injury time, and I scored in the last, almost the last kick of the game, and it was the best moment. That on the pitch was probably the best moment of my career.
Yeah. And who was one player that you could name that you hated playing against in your playing career?
I played against some brilliant players, some really good players, but one that just always stands out was a player called Moussa Dembele for Tottenham. Yeah. He played for Fulham and Tottenham, and he was just an incredible player, and I'm surprised he didn't play for one of the top. He was, for me, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal level. That was the level that he could have played at comfortably. But he was brilliant. He was such a good player. And as a midfielder, often when you go and get the ball from the back, you've got to be brave as a midfielder. Go and get the ball when you're playing out from the back, from your goalkeeper, your centre-backs. And usually when you get that ball, you've got patterns. You know where you're going to play your next pass. And as an opponent trying to go and close that player down, you're trying to read where he's trying to play that pass. And he was the first player that I came up against, I would say, in my career, who got received the ball on the edge of his own box and just faced me up and tried to take me on. And I was kind of shocked. I was like, what's he doing here? He's not going to play it. I can't read his pass. And he took me on. Yeah. And from that moment, I'm on the back foot. He was just brilliant. He had everything. Really good player.
And who would you say your favourite player to play alongside was? This could be away from Wolves, like in terms of your career. Who's your favourite player to play alongside?
I played with some really nice, real good partners, midfield partners. But my favourite, without doubt, was David Jones. Yeah. He was a left-footed central midfielder. We complemented each other nicely. He liked to go forward and create a bit more, score goals, and I was obviously more the defensive-minded player. But we played. When you play together as a two, quite often one of you will try and outdo the other one. Yeah. So they play individually, and lots of times you play with somebody and they just try and do their own thing. And as a pair, you don't look great. With David Jones, we respected each other. We passed the ball to each other. We bounced off each other. We worked together well defensively, and we had a great relationship off the pitch as well. And
final question: obviously, in a couple of hours, Wolves play Luton Town. What would your prediction be for today's game, do you think?
It's been a tough 6 games without a win. It's been a tough period for Wolves, and I think it's a lovely game for them to bounce back and get a result with, but it's so difficult to get results, and they're in such a position at the moment. I've got every sympathy with Gary O'Neill. We all knew the squad size, and I think he's maybe taken a little bit of criticism. I've seen little bits of criticism about him, maybe going on about it a little bit too much, and I personally think that's unfair. It's we've all seen how great the team is with the front three, with Cunha available, Neto, Wang. There's some, we've got some real strong players, and without those, when they're not in the squad, if they're not, they'd get into probably at most Premier League teams, outside the top three. So I've got a lot of sympathy for him, and I hope they're just digging deep and trying to get through games at the moment. But Luton are also struggling and scrapping for their lives, so it should be a good game today.
Thank you for your time, Carl.
Take care.
Thank you.